I'm Fatima. I'm from Richmond, BC. I'm your health and beauty social media queen.
Hi guys, I'm Chef Fred. I live in North Vancouver, BC, and I'm a health enthusiast.
Hi everyone, my name is John and I'm in Vancouver and I'm a work from home dad to 2 great kids and married to a wonderful wife.
Hi, my name is Cyrene. I live in Vancouver and my passion is health and beauty.
Hi everyone, thanks for joining us again for our gardening series. Today we are going to be talking about how we are preparing the land and where exactly we need to be planting them in the dirt. So as we left off last week, before we do that, I'm Fatima.
I'm Fred.
Hi, I'm John.
I'm Cyrene.
Excellent. Well, so we left off with, if we were going to actually dig a bed into the garden, and, Fred was saying that you would want to leave it for a while to sort of get the new soil in. Where would I get the soil from and what kind of soil am I looking for?
So what I did is I found some soil they sell by square meter or yard, I guess.
Yeah.
And I got 6 yards and I borrowed my neighbor's pickup truck and I filled it up. And then I dumped it at my house and I filled my garden with it. I chose the garden organic soil.
Mm-hmm.
And it's fairly cheap,
Yeah.
But if you have a smaller garden, you can buy it in bags, but it gets more expensive.
Yeah,
Quality is good.
You can buy organic soil. It's not hard to find. People are asking for organic soil. So like Fred said, they sell it by cubic yards or cubic meters. That's how so you're buying a block of soil. And so you can get it delivered too. I mean, if you don't have access to a vehicle, you can have, a lot of places will deliver soil to you. So they'll just pull up to your yard and shovel some onto your lawn or onto a tarp that you lay out. And then from there you can decide where you want to build your garden. But like Fred, what we've done, we picked up bags of organic soil at the hardware store. So, again, if you don't need that much, a cubic meter or cubic yard is actually quite a lot.
It is quite a bit.
Yeah, when Fred's talking about 6 cubic yards, it's like a full pickup truckload.
Yeah.
Like the back is completely full.
That's a lot.
Yeah, so that would do your whole yard.
It doesn't go as far as we think, When you lift those 25-liter bag from the shops, you think, whoa, I'm going to have a lot. It doesn't go far.
No.
You kind of need quite a bit.
Yeah, you can never have too much good soil, right? Because if you don't use it, you can just put it in a pile and because your soil is going to continue to be depleted.
Yeah.
Like the dirt will continue to settle, and so you can always keep topping it off. But yeah, organic soil, and then at the same time, when you're preparing your area, you also want to pick up any kind of mixture. So like Fred touched on the last episode, he combines sand and peat moss and topsoil and maybe a garden mix that already has a fertilizer built into it. Yeah. So you just combining
manure is very important.
Manure, and so you might, if you don't have that, you might want to also have some a company or yourself pick up those things. So pick up like manure, pick up some sand, so that you can also create your own mix, because it's important to aerate your soil. Like have soil that is loose, so that the roots and plants can take hold. Again, they won't take hold into very hard rock or packed.
I'll let Larry know.
Yeah.
Taking notes, but yeah.
Take notes.
Here, Larry, this is the type of soil we want.
And then before you buy the soil, it's important for you to decide whether you are going to have a raised garden or not. And it's important to choose an area in your backyard or front yard where there is sunlight. Like they need sunlight. So you don't.
All plants need sunlight. So then it would depend on what kind of plants you're growing.
Every single plant that you grow will do well with sunlight. And if you plant somewhere where there's not enough sunlight, then you have to look at what plants doesn't require a lot of sunlight and then choose those. Those ones.
I know bleeding hearts, they don't like too much sun. They actually prefer the
shade.
The shade.
Okay. Yeah, so picking a spot in your yard, whether it's flowers or fruit and vegetables, you want to pick an ideal spot that when you buy the seeds or when you buy the plant, most of the time it has a label on it, like a little tag on it. So it'll guide you to where it tells you it may needs 4 hours of direct sunlight or might need 8 hours of direct sunlight, and knowing hopefully like the sun coming across your yard in the summer or not, you kind of get an idea where the sun is going to hit the most. So you want to make sure that you're choosing those varieties that need the sun, direct sun, where there's ones that need only a few hours, and then the ones that, like Fatima mentioned, that do better in the shade or even in the dark areas. So maybe under trees or under eave or always on the shade side of the house.
That's a good point, John.
However, if we're talking about just vegetable garden, like without the flowers, I think in vegetable garden, you want the sunny spot of your garden.
Oh, okay.
And when you transplant your vegetable from seedling, or if you buy them already grown juveniles, like you said, you want to plant the taller one at the back. So, and then the smaller one at the front. And there's a few of them that complements each other, like you take, by example, I call them the three sisters: the corn, the beans, and the zucchini or the cucumber. They all go together. At the back of the garden, you've got zucchini, you've got the corn growing tall, beans, using the corn as something to grow off. And then at the bottom, you've got the zucchini or the cucumber that are growing. They stop the weed from growing and they keep the moisture in the soil. And all these vegetables needs different nutrients, so they don't compete. So they grow very well together. But because it's corn and green bean, they grow tall. So you want them at the back of the garden. And let's say your peppers and tomato at the front of the garden.
Yeah, you have to be very careful of choosing the right vegetables that complement each other, because if you plant, like for example, if Fred was planting or I was planting 4 different vegetables, you want them to be complementing each other. Also, certain plants also help keep insects away, right? So you might plant certain plants in between other plants, like vegetable plants, like having some flower plants, which help ward off pests and insects. But the reason you want to mix up the variety of plants, whether they're flowering plants or vegetables and fruit, is because if they suck up all the nutrients if they all use the same nutrients, then you're actually robbing them of their nutrients, because they're all going to be, imagine they all like, let's say they all like to eat pizza, right? So all the pizza will be gone out of the soil. So, but if they like, this and this. I
love the example.
Yeah. So, something that I've been learning, because we've been trying, like our garden isn't very big in the back, but we've been trying to, you heard of crop rotation. That's what farmers do.
Yeah.
So they never plant the same crops in the same soil year after year. Because if you keep planting corn in the same spot, the corn will leach up all the nutrients from the soil. And you plant it again next year, the next crop will be smaller and less yielding. They won't give you enough corn on the cobs. And then if you keep doing it, eventually they won't grow. So you want to rotate, like next year you might put tomatoes in there, put the corn in a different corner, and so forth. So you just keep rotating it. I don't know what the cycle is, Fred. Do you know, like how 4 years, every 4 years? Yeah, 4 years.
That's why
sorry, do you guys have a barrier in between the plants, like the vegetables?
No.
At all?
No, I just tell them, do not go on this side. No, do not go on this side. This zucchini is nutrient.
No, they go everywhere. They go everywhere. And again, that's part of the beauty. Like when they actually start coming out, it actually looks very nice, because it's like, instead of being flowers, you see fruit. And like imagine tomatoes, you see the orange, the reds, the yellows, then they intertwine with the green of the peppers, the zucchini, and then you got the beans in the background. So it's almost like a giant mural, right?
It is. Yeah. And also, it's important when you decide to do a garden, a lot of people get super excited. And I know I was at first, and you plant so many vegetables that you don't even eat. And I give you an example. When we first had our garden, I had radishes galore. beautiful red radishes, the watermelon radishes, the white radishes, and then I realized that I don't eat radishes, and neither does Deb or Tom. So we had lots of radishes, but for no reason. But it was beautiful.
Yeah.
So make sure you know what you want.
Yeah.
And then try to make them grow together. And then make sure year after year you move your tomato from there to there, you know.
And also I think, like Fred, I haven't been to your garden, but depending on what you pick, like tomatoes or peppers or cucumbers, some things grow really fast. So you may not notice, like 1 week you'll see your cherry tomatoes will be, oh, there's nothing there. And then a week or two later, you'll have like 30 pounds come off of all your plants. And so you got to make sure that you're, again, we talked about in the first episode is have the time to maintain your garden, have the time to look after it, because you don't want all that to rot. Because if you don't pick them, they're going to rot or they're going to get eaten by the birds and bugs. So, make sure that you're not taking too much on. If you're just, a single person at home, you might just need one tomato plant. You don't need 6, right? So, kind of make sure that you know also what they produce, like how much. Because the crazy thing is, I'll never run out of kale, because every year we have probably 100 or 200 pounds of kale that comes off our yard. And that's just because they last through the winter and they just keep coming. Like, we never have to worry about kale, but we have to give it away because we just can't eat enough of it.
So here's another question. These are all like exciting and amazing tips that we've got from our 2 professional gardeners. So now, is there seasons that you have to plant these your seedlings into the ground?
I do it whenever.
I know, that's what I do, but I know there is like specific seasons that you have to plant certain things.
I guess it depends on what you're trying to grow. But if it's just a vegetable garden, you can I plant all mine at the same time in the house. I plant everything at the same time, and I manage from there, I guess.
Okay, perfect. Any last questions for any Cyrene or anything? Do you have any last questions?
No, I'm good.
Any last comments?
Just do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just do it, and it's
Just do it. Yeah.
It's trial and error. It's trial and error.
That's right.
Hope you guys enjoyed our episode 2 on gardening. We are going to come back with planting veggies and fruits in your garden. So get your questions ready for us, and we will answer as many of the questions as we can. We will see you until the next time. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.